debt is set to rise amid concerns on declining revenues. According to the latest figures from the Commission on Revenue Allocation, that is CRA, the country's public debt currently stands at 10.2 trillion shillings compared to 8.4 trillion shillings in the 2021-2022 financial year. And as Apollo Kamau reports, the country's debt is set to rise going by the current spending by the Kenya Kwanza administration and the country's economic situation.
The latest figures and forecast from the Commission on Revenue Allocation CRA have cast a shadowy picture of a country sinking into debt. The Commission, which was making its presentation before the National Assembly's Budget Committee, capped the country's debt at 10.2 trillion shillings as of June this year, a figure which has not factored recent loans from the World Bank and IMF, amounting to 2.1 trillion shillings.
In terms of how much we spent to pay interest on our debt, if you look at the next graph on page 14, out of the ordinary revenues we collect, about 35% in this current year is programmed to go to repaying our debt service. But also in the year ending June 23, the government spent at 3.4%. That's a very high figure in terms of resources being available for other functions.
The country's debt burden has come at a cost, as Kenyans have been forced to shoulder high taxes amid the removal of subsidies, which the IMF has pushed the Kenya Kwanza administration to abolish in order to raise revenue and lower fiscal deficit.
So I want to assure the Kenyan people that this House, this Budget and Appropriations Committee, will continue to making sure that Kenya is no longer continuing to dig a hole of debt. Our priority is to pay off our debt, to borrow much less, so that in the years to come, we'll actually be doing a balanced budget.
According to CRA, revenues from tax have declined amid bullish projections by the government to increase revenues to 2.5 trillion shillings, an ambitious figure in the current economic climate.
All the main tax heads did not perform well. Now, then it leaves us with a question we want to ask ourselves. If you look at the economy and the activities around the economy between June 2022 and June 23, vis-a-vis now July 2023 and June 2024, there doesn't seem to be anything so major to make us turn around all those negative numbers.
CRA says the Kenya Revenue Authority missed its first quarter of the year revenue target by 72 billion shillings. CRA further says revenue on income tax was below target by 40 billion shillings. Revenue on value-added tax was below target by 30 billion shillings. Revenue on excise tax below target by 29 billion shillings, and revenue on import duty below target by 12.6 billion shillings. Kenya is expected to pay 45.8 billion shillings as a first installment of the Eurobond next month, ahead of June next year, when the total amount of 305.9 billion shillings is due. Apollo Kamau, TV 47.
Thank you, Apollo, for that. A 47